Over 23,000 at Arthur Ashe Stadium here at the USTA National Tennis Center, the largest tennis arena in the entire world. Over 600,000 fans have watched great tennis these 2 weeks. It's a perfect tennis day, a bit warm. You're looking at Rod Laver. It's 83 degrees, sunny, some breeze. Two-time Grand Slam holder, the great Aussie, the Rocket Rod Laver.
Gentlemen, same rules and procedures as other matches. If you'd say until I call time, I'd appreciate it. Right?
Who's going to call it? You pick. Okay.
It's tail. Sir.
Have a good match.
Thanks.
Yeah. Have a good match.
Rod, I think you want
You want me to get in this too?
Sampras, as a young man, studied the films of Rod Laver. He's long named Laver as his idol, and of course Agassi with great admiration as well, as do these two finalists have between each other. It's a mutual admiration society. Agassi said he's the greatest player, Pete Sampras, I've ever met, and Sampras has said, I'm facing the greatest return of serve that I have ever played against. And there they are, over 30, the oldest ever men's final of the United States Open. The U.S. Open Men's Championship. We want to welcome those of you who have just watched the overtime. The Jets beating Buffalo 37-31. We're about to see two great American tennis heroes. Pete Sampras, who has won more Grand Slams than anyone in history, against Andre Agassi. They're meeting for the 34th time in their career, and testimony to their greatness in this sport. Look at the titles. Career titles, Grand Slam, 20 between them. It'll be 21 after this match today, and 4 U.S. championships for Sampras, 2 for Agassi. Oh my. And this is the final. And these two old geezers, I didn't see one come out with a cane or a nurse or any assistance at all.
Nothing like it. It's such a remarkable occasion. And when Andre Agassi was asked to try to express the inexpressible, what this kind of a match means to him at this stage, he says, I'll bet there's 50 guys in this room who could put it into words better than I can. Tragically, I'm not among them, but I know this for sure. Pete Sampras hasn't played the kind of tennis he's shown this year since last year at the U.S. Open. I mean, he has had a, by his standards, aggressively mediocre year, hasn't done anything in the majors, and this is the kind of stuff that won him majors all those years. He's been serving magnificently. He's been very, very tough at the net, making, diving for shots, playing very athletic, physical tennis. I mean, he's always felt like he was such a great jock, and that should, see him through. Andre Agassi has put in an exquisitely robust effort himself. Look what he was able to do against the world's fastest and #1 player in the world, Leighton Hewitt, yesterday. And this is going to be some sweet-looking match. I mean, obviously, Andre Agassi is going to be asked to hit much bigger, tougher winners than Pete, because Pete's going to be up at the net.
Agassi's been in better form. He's won 4 titles this year. Sampras has not won since Wimbledon, and that was 33 tournaments ago. But he still has that wonderful combination of serves.
Well, my idol, Rod Laver, as well, said it best yesterday. Pete's got the serve back, and when he's got the serve back, all of a sudden he's a lot more confident in the rest of his game. In the first serve, we know he's got a lot of juice, but what wins him matches, Wimbledon's, and major titles here at the Open is the second serve, which he's got the confidence and the guts to go for it. But of course he combines that with some sweet feel in net. The half volley is back. Look at how many points he wins on the second serve. That's why, big surprise, Dick, very tough to break Pete Sampras here at the U.S. Open.
Well, you never could have figured this one out. Number 6 seed against the number 17 seed, Sampras. He wouldn't have been seeded years ago. And we're ready for that opening serve. The men's title, Agassi and Sampras. And welcome back. A roaring response as both Agassi and Sampras have been introduced to this sellout crowd. Let's go to Pete Sampras. She was with Agassi a moment ago.
Andre, first off, you had the second semifinal yesterday. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I'm feeling real good. I'm ready to go.
And lastly, breaking Pete's serve the last 6 sets you've played him, it proved to be a tough thing. What's going to be different today?
Well, we'll have to see about that. I'm going to have to be definitely playing my best tennis, picking up the ball early, seeing it well. Hopefully I'll make him serve lights out today in order to get it done.
Thanks for stopping again. Good luck.
No worries.
Thanks, Pam. And in the Sampras camp, Coach Paul Annacone, and with him, Patrick McEnroe.
All right, Dick, thanks. Paul, how is Pete feeling, number one, and what do you think the key is to the match today?
He feels good, and you know, these guys have played so many times. Anything's possible, but usually it's a lot of fun out here. Obviously, he has to try to get on the offense before Andre. Andre's the best player in the world at making sure he doesn't have to get on defense. So it's a great challenge for Pete, and the contrast has historically been a great matchup. So it should be exciting.
Good luck. Looking forward to it. Dick?
It's like uncorking a 30-year-old bottle of vintage Bordeaux. Raise your glasses, a toast to tennis greatness. Votre santé, Sampras to serve.
Came out of the gate at 129 miles per hour, so it looks like he's feeling okay, and that's good news for Sampras fans because he struggled the last two finals, bouncing back to back.
Started this Open, he was only 19 and 17 on the season. But this his best result, his first final of the entire year. He picked a Grand Slam spot.
This is his fifth best of 5 set match in 7 days for Sampras.
His first ace at 120.
The serve is always the last to go, and Agassi, without question, played the tougher of the 2 matches. Was out there a lot longer, but I suppose since he doesn't stretch or get a rub anyway, it doesn't matter. So what if he's stiff? He's stiff already.
Both men, of course, played in the semis yesterday. On the sideline, and that going wide at 120 miles an hour.
That can't be.
No.
The bottom line is that looks like he's come right out here and has excellent feel on the serve. That's not good news for Agassi.
Now, some of you were with us last weekend during the rain, and we replayed the 4 tie breaks of their quarterfinal last year. No breaks of service, 4 sets. And Sampras with a love hole to open this championship.
By the way, Art Garfunkel's kid doesn't look at all like him, does he?
Let's look at Andre Agassi, the number 6 seed, looking for his 3rd U.S. championship. Born, raised, lives in Las Vegas with his wife, Steffi Graf, and their young son, almost a year old. He's given a lot back to his Las Vegas community. He's had a good season with 4 titles. That ties for the lead on the men's tour this year. Wins today, he'll be over $25 million in earnings. Winner receives $900,000 and the runner-up $450,000. With an early ace.
Second final in a row. It is absolutely packed here at Arthur Ashe Stadium. It was nice to see the Jets run that first kickoff back in overtime. Get that over with. See Agassi absolutely destroy his first 4 opponents. Mirny, the big man, gave him a tussle, and Leighton Hewitt, the number 1. Andre certainly dug deep in that 4th set to pull it out.
Just an absolutely fantastic match yesterday as he eliminated the defending champion Hewitt. And each man shows they've got the serve going early. No points against the server.
It's like Dick said, no confidence coming in, barely over 500. Good couple matches for him. Ruzetsky was tough, a 5-setter. Haas, he stood way behind the baseline, allowed Pete to gain some more confidence, gave Roddick a lesson, and Shang Shalkin well done to get to the semis, so the Grand Slam. Ultimately not a match for Pete.
129 miles an hour.
It's like a puncher in when you're boxing. He's got that puncher's chance. The serve's the last to go. Sampras is going to be serving big today. Punch is the last thing to go. He's still late in the fight. You never know.
What Sampras knows better than anyone, though, is that Andre Agassi is not the guy in a guy that's going to get knocked out by a foolish punch. I mean, he's this man, again, as you were saying, Dick, he's had a, except for the majors, I mean, he's had a pretty solid year, winning 4 titles. I mean, in the thick of it, unlike Pete.
Well, the word you use there, except for the majors, Mary, applies to both, and that's why this match is all the more huge for these 2 great champions, 2 of the greats of all time.
You know, how shocking was it that both would be knocked out of the 2nd round of Wimbledon? Dismal day for these American stars. Here's that second serve that is so well praised. And 3 games, not 1 point yet for the man returning serve. One of the great American symbols out in the harbor here in New York, as Agassi serves 1-2 in the opening set. Shadows growing to the middle of the court. John, does that bother you at all?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a tough time for the 2 of them this next 10 minutes or so. And after all, they are 32 and 31. It's going to take a little bit of time to get the bodies going here.
They've met 33 previous times. Sampras with the lead, also in Grand Slam finals, beating Agassi 3 of 4, and perfect here at the Open. 2 of those finals.
When they played in 1990 here at the U.S. Open, Andre Agassi was already very much a known quantity. He'd already been to a French Open final. But Pete Sampras was still largely unknown. And of course, he served Andre and everyone else he played in the 90 final, in the 90 Open, right off the court.
Well, a unique start. 4 games. Caught the line.
What's been so impressive about the early serving in Sampras is that he's taking it everywhere. And he's gone real, real hard and sliding it off the court, kicking it up, really mixing up his pitches beautifully.
He knows Agassi was out there for almost 3 hours against Hewitt, so he's not going to be able to get the engine running at full speed right away. So if he does that, it'll be incredibly difficult for Andre early in this match to break. He still hasn't gotten a point.
There's the first point against the serve after 18 in a row.
And you see where he's hitting the ball, Dick. It's right in that section, almost in between this half shade, half sun. Got to watch that ball extra carefully. You can make an easy error like he did there. Agassi benefits from taking those small steps, which keeps him so well balanced. How many times has Sampras watched Agassi passing chops go by him, and yet he still comes forward? That's what makes this such a great matchup. Serve volley against a man who slugs it out from the baseline.
Second serve, 2-all, 30-all.
Well, he backed up my point I made in the opening, just the ability to come up with nasty second serves. I mean, talk about placing the ball well. That spun away from Andre. I mean, he had a shot at a pass, but looks like they're both finding their way into this match now. That's not a big surprise. Pete will be coming in. Andre will be willing to take his chances from the baseline. The thing about Pete, you notice, look where he's hit that volley. He's well behind the service line. You know, that was a problem for him during the year. I pointed out it is his 5th match in 7 days. We saw what happened to him in the last 2 finals, but that's not where he wants to have to hit half volleys. I can assure you of that.
This is his 3rd consecutive final. He lost 2 years ago to Murat Safin and then Leighton Hewitt last year, and beaten rather thoroughly after a close first set by both those much younger opponents. (116-mile-an-hour) second serve.
Pete's faced with the dilemma. If he hits his serve hard, it's almost impossible to get inside the service line. But ideally, you want to hit as many volleys as possible inside.
So from 30 all, they remain on serve. Now they're sailing a little to the port there, and they're going toward Douglaston, where
yes, Douglaston,
McEnroe and
Queens.
Carrillo first met.
The Throgneck Bridge. Very nice stuff. This is shaping up to be just like last year's quarterfinal match, which really is, I've said it before, it's the best 4-set match I've ever seen, and this is what made it so beautiful. There were no breaks of serve. Sampras had to win his 3 sets in tie breaks. Look how many more times at the net Sampras came than Agassi. Just 21 times Andre came up. 137 for Pete. We can expect similar numbers.
After this point, we'll go back to that graph, and a lot of numbers.
Again, look at the bottom line, which is still the bottom line in this match. Sampras so effective on his first serve and almost 60% on his second serve, and that includes 12 double faults he had against Andre. He knew he had to serve big against a guy.
Agassi gears one up for 115 and his second ace.
Well, when you're hitting second serves at 110 to 115, you're going to throw in some double faults at times. You see that from Sampras. Andre's serve, incredibly, Dick, has improved the last couple of years. Not to mention his volley's better than ever. I mean, he is arguably one of the few, if only, players I've ever seen who's better after 30 than before 30. Typical Pete, laying over there on the backhand side in the corner, waiting for a chance to unleash a forehand like he did there.
And that kind of court positioning was absent for much of this year. Pete Sampras, as much as he hates for people to say it, had lost a step.
But the ace for Agassi is third. It's 3-all. And on this beautiful, clear Sunday in New York, we get these fantastic pictures from above via the Fujifilm blimp.
Well, at least it's down to a half step, Mary.
Well, no, the biggest difference, and Andre is the one who told me this, is that of late, Andre says Pete's been playing more towards the middle of the court, not cheating over to the backhand side, looking for a forehand.
Well, that's because he can't afford to. He can't cover that wide forehand the way he used to.
That's the point.
Half dozen aces already. Sampras in his 4th service game.
He laid that one out over 130, now 132 right up the line, up the tee, excuse me.
That's his fastest of the championship.
It's a careless volley there from Pete. Amazingly, so far, he's gotten won more points on this the second serve than the first. You might as well forget about breaking if that's the case.
Well, again, to underline Mary's point about their classic a year ago in the quarterfinals, 4 sets, no breaks of service, 4 tie breaks. Agassi won the first, and then Sampras the last 3. And if we don't get a tie break today, that would be a big upset. Seven aces against the best returner of service.
Well, you see, he throws the ball in the same spot, so it's tough for Agassi to read where he's serving it. He can hit it with pace. You saw that serve spin away from Andre. Depending on where he makes contact with the ball, it's awesome. It's the greatest serve volley combination. I saw Becker before, but now Sampras is the best ever. That wins you majors, Dick. A lot of them.
Oh, 2 missed volleys in this game by Sampras. Keeps Agassi alive, 40-30.
So for Sampras' standard, he's played a loose game. He looks up the scoreboard, he's still up 40-30. That's not bad. And that's not going to be a big surprise either. Pete's going to go for a lot more than Andre. Just keep the point short when necessary.
And there's the big eraser. Another ace. 8 already on serve. 4-3. The 2002 Men's Championship of the U.S. Open from Arthur Ashe Stadium. On serve. No break points. We've had 1 deuce game. That was on Sampras' serve.
Sampras slaps that forehand winner. Gets on the board. That's his first of the match. It's his ability to hit over the ball, keep it down, and then when he gets his chance, gets the ball right to center, flattens it out. A lot of pace. Ball just missed. I was going to say, Mary, does that guy remind you of someone, that running forehand? Look at this. He gave him another chance. And Andre jerked that forehand pass wide. Scorer thought it was in.
Yeah, the scoreboard had it 30-15.
He was wrong.
Agassi.
Now the rest of the crowd realizes that Andre missed that ball, but there was no question it was wide. How good is that forehand this game?
3 huge ones, and now a real chance for Sampras. First break points of this first set.
He's been waiting 367 days to break Agassi here at the Open. That was a tough call there. All looked in. Andre doesn't say anything. That's out.
So the pressure from Sampras, and he takes the lead, and now will serve for the set.
And Bridget Wilson's happy.
Well, things happen in a hurry in a match like this. Both Pete and Andre have the ability to be swiftly stirred. The window opens, and believe me, they see it.
Let's reiterate that Andre Agassi played a far tougher match than Pete Sampras did yesterday. It had to take some sort of toll on him.
And the count on Sampras aces rises to 9.
If those legs aren't juiced up, ready to go, that's what can happen. Sampras is what I haven't seen in probably his whole career, Mary. He warms up once or twice before he plays. He's running in the locker room before. He's broken a nice sweat. And It's helped him in a big way here with an excellent start.
He was running in the hallway. I saw him about 45 minutes before the match.
He does that. He runs laps around the bowers of the stadium. First double fault.
There he is, just a few minutes before going out on court, just listening to his music and getting his heart beating.
As you can see, Agassi sluggish so far. I mean, the placement impeccable with Sampras. As you pointed out, Dick, he's mixed it up quite well in this first set. And that's 10 aces. I mean, even for Sampras, that's high in one set.
Yeah, a lot of men happy with 10 aces in a match.
Shang Shaw happy to have 10 aces in a tournament. He's out practicing today.
Is he really?
Talk about dedication. What is he doing there?
Oh, slices it down the tee for number 11, and with it 2 set points.
This guy deserved a day off, didn't he? His first Grand Slam semi. He plays Sampras hard. I looked up and I'm like, come on.
He's starting to like this.
You cannot be serious.
Just missed clipping that sideline.
Two set points here for Pete.
And a double fault. His second.
He's tossing 2 doubles this game, yet once again we should point out he's still up 40-30.
Back to deuce. So 2 chances on Sampras's racket for the set. A double fault and a missed volley.
And again, Sampras hitting that volley a little bit farther back than he would have liked. He didn't punch at it. He got it a little bit wide. What were the odds? And they not break once in 4 sets and they do back-to-back. That's what's about to happen here. Agassi with break point.
And that was that great return game of Agassi at work.
It's also a 98-mile-an-hour serve from Pete Sampras. And again, both these guys are so alert to their chances.
Second serve ace. He's got a dozen. So 2 set points denied by Agassi, and now Sampras swipes away
what do you
the breaker.
do if you're Andre Agassi? How do you get that serve back? You don't is the short answer. It's enough pace. It's a nasty spin. It's working its way away from Agassi. It's just too good.
Third set point. Well, at the start of this championship, we talked about how Pete Sampras would be the sentimental choice of the New Yorkers, but we weren't thinking about him going all the way to the final. And here's Agassi and this big crowd, not quite sure who they're for. I think for the man that's behind. That's right. Second serve at set point. There it is. 6 games to 3. Sampras takes the early lead. And welcome back. Pete Sampras, 6-3, owns the opening set of this championship. And it's Agassi to serve to open the second. Against Sampras, back to set point.
Well, this is what you like about Sampras. He has so many options on the serve. There, he took a lot off it, but what he did, see, he's behind the service line, but as you see when he hits this volley, all right, we can go back to live action. Watch when he hits this volley. Move it forward now. There he gets himself finally inside the service line, which I think gives him more confidence. He's taking that ball higher over the net, makes that shot easier. Too often this past year, Pete's been hitting volleys well behind the service line. And you can see his confidence just growing. That quick break, got a little sticky there, but served it out. Now he's starting to step into backhands. When he's stepping into the backhand, that's when you know you should be worried. And that's the old Pete Sampras there. I mean, go ahead and try to hit it by me on the forehand side, and it's just a wicked shot. And Agassi thinks he's in control here. Pete lines it up. There's so much pace, and Andre still hasn't been able to loosen that body, get it going yet.
A couple of chances to break early here in the second.
That's wide.
Suddenly, Sampras up a set, up a break. With 9-11 approaching, we at CBS would like to thank New York's finest for their hard work these past 2 weeks, keeping the USTA National Tennis Center secure. Officers have been brought in from all over the city. And to New York's bravest, our thanks. And also to Ladder Company 138, Engine 289, less than a mile away from the tennis center here in Flushing. They still mourn the loss of 4 of their heroes in the attack. Our thoughts and our sincere prayers are with all of them. And we thank them all sincerely from all of us at CBS Sports.
Sampras has got the strut working now. This Agassi got the juices flowing a little bit here, but this is a
from out of the files.
But what the problem was is he was so far behind the base on it. Of course, Pete picked up on that quickly. Look at how well he moved back into position, hit that drop volley winner.
Andre said, we heard what he said to Pam Shriver. If he serves lights out, he wins. And that's pretty much how Pete Sampras has been behaving.
And again, to remind folks how long the drought has been for Sampras. 26 months for the former #1 player in the world since he's won a title. That was at Wimbledon.
Picks the right time to win tournaments. That broke the record, all-time Grand Slam record, 13, and here he is again.
Oh, what a volley.
Look at this. And what Andre has often said about Pete Sampras, Andre says, even if I play my best, I know I can lose.
Well, the good news, if there is any for Agassi, is at least he's not playing his best yet. The bad news is Sampras is playing very, very well.
This isn't the Agassi we saw yesterday, is it? Where he was pinpointing those laser shots in the corners and running Hewitt all over Arthur Ashe.
Let's not forget Andre did his share of running himself. And it's caused for some complications here, bouncing back the next day. Sampras now happy he had that 11 o'clock start. And an easy win over Roddick on the Thursday night.
And at love, Sampras leads 2-love in the second set. Remember last year at this time when Sampras was playing Leighton Hewitt, it was a tough first set, went to a tiebreak, won by Hewitt, but Sampras had come off, and never before it had happened that he had beaten 3 former champions, Pat Rafter, Leighton Hewitt, Marat Safin, and this man Agassi. So 3 straight tough opponents, and then the finals, and it just wasn't much left in the tank. Wow. 10 straight points for Pete Sampras.
Andre needs to slow down here, because this is looks like what happened to Andre years ago, where when things started going poorly, he'd play faster and faster. You see Pete Sampras holding him up there only because the ball boy was in the way. I can assure that he would have preferred to keep playing. Andre does not want to lose this game. Get down 2 breaks. If he gets down 2 breaks, he's not going to be able to come back in this set. If he can hold here, there's still hope he could pull his way back.
Oh man, look at Sampras is so confident that he's hitting winners off the ground, not just from his serve.
It's all working.
He's not even afraid of a ground war today. He's playing that well.
Another break point, which would, if accomplished, almost give him an insurmountable set lead. The way he's serving. There's erased. A kick serve to the ad court that Agassi uses so effectively.
It's imperative for Andre to pull himself together this game, because he's going to start feeling better. I mean, they've only been out there 38 minutes. He'll start to get the juices flowing.
Oh man. Once again drawn back to deuce, and Sampras understands very well how much he's got to take advantage of a very good opponent who's going through a bad patch.
Good recognition by Agassi. He didn't have time to get this backhand in 2 hands. What he did was just not go for too much. Just use the one hander, keep it nice and low, slice it. Sampras couldn't handle it.
Agassi saves a breaker. It's 2-1 Sampras. Will continue after this word from your local station. 31-year-old Pete Sampras leading 32-year-old Andre Agassi. A set and a break. Big aces.
The key thing there is how many winners Sampras had, how he's hit compared to how few unforced errors we've seen.
Out on the food court, large screen television. They sold for the first time this year ground passes for $5 today. And a lot of folks came out to see the juniors play and watch a big screen and enjoy the ambiance. And those tickets, those $5 tickets, that money goes to USTA junior tennis programs for inner cities. So a nice addition.
I thought that's where all the money went.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Some of it, or more of it. Pete Sampras, who had a chance for a break and a 3-love lead, a double breaker, doesn't feel that a 13th ace is unlucky at all. Is that last one Green Bay? Did they win late? I didn't quite see that last one. That artistic Sampras high slicing volley. Green Bay did win in overtime against Atlanta. Boy, some high scoring great games on this opening weekend. And another easy service game for Pete Sampras. He leads 3-1 in the second. Fourth love game for Sampras.
This is classic stuff from Sampras. He's so comfortable within himself right now. That's what's frightening. He's just playing within himself. It's the best he's looked in since he won Wimbledon 2 years ago. Simple as that. He's dominated Agassi. Last year, it was close as could be. Agassi just has to keep plugging away, holding his serve. Pete tightens up a little bit, trying to take a 2 sets to love lead. Then he could totally turn things around. Remember, best of 5. There's plenty of time left.
Left for serve.
The oldest ever men's final. Combination of 63 years, and unique as well as the fact that here the number 6 seed meets what would have been in the old days an unseeded player, Sampras. He's 17th in the new arrangement. Last final Grand Slam final where 2 men over 30 played was 30 years ago in Australia. Rosewall beat Mal Anderson. 3-2. Sampras leads in the second, up a set. Welcome back to the championship final, featuring 2 great American players. 20 Grand Slam victories between them. Sampras up a set and serving with a lead, 3-2 in the second. And Agassi still appears to be sluggish.
I thought he picked things up in that last game. I mean, it's going to be hard for him, but he just had a love hold game. His first.
That return
not
was
his
a
first,
makeable one for him. That was a very disappointing return to serve for Andre.
Of course, that Sampras serve will take some spirit out of you.
It sure will.
You have to keep a pretty sunny disposition out there when you're playing against someone of Sampras's mythic strengths.
They're not mythic. They're real. It's just it freezes you. You become frozen. It's a lot tougher to do what you want to do with that power. It just shuts you down. What can you do there?
It's pretty hard to come up with your own spontaneous creations.
And you're literally left to just stick your racket out and hope for the best.
Well, since Sampras served for the first set and Agassi took him to a break point, now we go to the second set. He's not lost a single service point. This is his third game. Got to be a bit disheartening if you can't even get a point off the guy's serve. And another love game. It's 2-4, and we go to Hall of Famer Pam Shriver.
Thanks a lot, Dick. Boris, you are watching 2 peers of yours play. Andre's just 2 years younger, Pete 3. First off, do you get the itch to go back out there?
Very much so. I'm actually very proud of my generation that, 2 30-year-olds or even older are playing here for the singles title. And it does get very, I do get very nervous out here.
Now, your game obviously a lot more like Pete's, and he's having a great start to this final. What do you like about his game?
He's really playing like the old Pete. He doesn't have any big faults. He's playing perfect strategy. He doesn't give any rhythm to Andre, and he serves just 100%. And right now he's playing a class in his own.
Now, when you would play Andre through the years and you were serving, what did you find the most important things in order to keep Andre off balance as the returner?
That you're not supposed to enter a pattern, meaning you don't serve down the line. You have to really mix up your serves, a lot first and second serves. You have to take chances, and especially in the second serves. I mean, the break point he was down in the first set. He went up for that ace down the middle. That's just a killer for a great returner, and that's why Pete's up a set in the break.
Thanks, Boris.
Becker, the '89 champion, and that victory over Ivan Lendl. Lendl, who holds the record of 8 consecutive final appearances in the Open era.
15-30. This is a miraculous, to say the least, run by Lendl. Again, Andre in the position of having to hold serve here, but at the same time, if he does get by, put a little bit of pressure on Pete, who may feel that he should be done with this set already. And the crowd will certainly get behind Agassi at the end of the second set. Oh, that hurts to watch.
And a break point again for Sampras.
And this ball was a slice. It skidded, but still, Andre missed that badly.
Just as it was in the opening set, Sampras now, after the break, will serve for a 2-set lead. Andre, twice a U.S. Open champion. There's his wife, Steffi Graf. She won this title 5 times among her 22 Grand Slam titles. Mother Heidi in front of Steffi. Sampras serves for a 2-set lead in less than an hour. And a rare Agassi point on return. Might as well swing away now. You're down 2 breaks.
If you can see him, this is new balls as well, so it's going to be coming even faster. There's 2 excellent returns. It's a start.
First 2 points for Agassi against Sampras has served the entire set. Wide at 105 miles an hour for number 14.
That's why he's so wily and smart. That he saw Agassi taking the big swing, so he takes something off and slices it away from me. He can't hit the return as hard then.
And another good return. Agassi with a couple break points.
Well, Andre's shaking his head now because he realizes that he's in a good position to break, but he's down 2 breaks, not 1. Still a long way to go to get back in this set.
Another chance to break and give this crowd that's here to root for Agassi something to yell about.
Sampras the bigger man by about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. Yeah, better knee bend. He throws that toss up a little higher, and he's able to place his serve better. And he's a lot quicker than people realize. Hustles up to that ball, take it nice and early.
He moves so differently from Andre. Pete Sampras. Andre is very tidy and fastidious, and he takes a lot of little quick steps, and Pete is much more rangy. He lopes around the court, not like this guy who seems to count his steps.
He's got to, because he's so tight. He doesn't stretch. He needs to keep those steps small.
It drops in.
On the other hand, gets a lot of body work done, stretching, massages. Andre will take this miss hit. He'll be more than happy to accept anything at this point. Here's just third chance to break. Get one of those breaks back.
Got it. He broke him. What a tremendous love from Andre Agassi.
5-3, so one of the breakers earned. Back to the Agassi score. Still down a break, serving to stay in the second set.
Sampras has moved extremely well in this match, so that was excellent defense by Pete. That ball had depth and it had some serious spin on it.
Darren Cahill coaching Agassi after leaving Leighton Hewitt. He was here last year at this time as Hewitt won the title.
One-time singles semifinalist here. Excellent player in his own right before the knee gave out on him. Fucking 10 knee operations for poor Darren Cahill. This crowd will be very into the next game if Andre holds here. Propel him and push him back in this match.
Sampras with a whistling winner off that backhand wing, his 33rd winner of this match.
You see where he's standing, well inside the baseline, the way Agassi likes to do when he goes over the low part of the net, takes a big swing at it, and he's got himself a winner. Agassi pulling a Sampras.
Fourth ace.
They're imitating each other right now.
Agassi with 4 aces to Sampras's 14. Now a point for 4-5. Sampras will serve for a 2-set lead when we return. First, this word from your local station. Dave at 11:30 Eastern and Pacific Coast time. Sampras 5-3. And number 15. A lot of celebrities here this weekend. Of course, last night, the Baldwin brothers, Steve on the right, Alec on the left, our left. Hilary Swank, Academy Award winner, lower right. Chad Lowe, her husband.
It looked like there was an opening until Pete just dashed over there and stuck the racket out. So he puts himself in excellent position. He's got both sides covered. Agassi just can't get it by him.
2 points from 2 sets up. So he continues to dominate the net. And 3-set points. What a remarkable story it is. How could one have possibly anticipated that Pete Sampras, with his ranking dipping lower and lower, not reaching a final the entire year, out of Wimbledon, second round, would be in this position on this Sunday? And a 2-set lead over Andre Agassi as Sampras in quest of his 14th Grand Slam championship. And here's our 16-year-old U.S. boys champion and girls champion, Maria Krylenko of Russia. She upset the #1 seed Barbara Strakova and Richard Gasquet from France. And they are raving about the talent of this 16-year-old. We saw him play at Mass Mutual Junior Champions. And names and faces you may see in years to come.
Gasquet was down 2 match points in the semis and down a fistful of set points in the final. He's very good. A couple of years we might be talking about him on this weekend.
Richard Gasquet. Well, 4 times he's come back from 2 sets down, including the French this year. Well, John, if you were able to be down there side by side with Agassi and be his coach, what would you have said?
Start to play the type of points the second one in particular. Make Sampras work and try to get into longer rallies. Andre won't feel any worse. And I think he's going to get better, if anything, and Pete will start to come down physically as this match goes on. If it gets into a 4 set, Andre will have a real opportunity to turn this around. The tough part's winning the 3rd set.
And Sampras certainly not extended. Only been on court 65 minutes. And a couple of return winners to 30 all. Wait a minute. Where's Agassi?
Who's
Which
the
end
great
is he on?
returner?
Yeah.
Well, because his legs are a little weary himself, he's not getting a whole lot in that second serve, which Pete has clearly picked up on. That's the type of point Andre wants to play, right there.
So as a coach, you'd be nodding affirmatively here now at Andre.
I'd be high-fiving Gil Reyes right now early in this 3rd set to get him some motivation. He's going to find a will like he did in the 4th set against Hewitt. He's going to make a run here, Andre. He's put too much work in to let this slip away this fast.
First double fault.
Oh, brilliant. He is the fitter of the 2 men. This is what Agassi does so well is finding the angles where they may not look like they are. I mean, that is just a picture perfect forehand right on the line.
Lincoln Metcalf confirms right on the line. Agassi holds to open the 3rd set. They change ends, and we look at our match summary of the first 2 sets.
Well, when Pete's over 60% on that first serve, he's very, very difficult to deal with, and he's continued to play at a high level, hitting all those winners, Mary.
Look at those winners. And again, the 3 of 4 breakpoint chances against just 1 of 4 from Andre. But that's the thing, Pete, as a serve and volleyer on a hard court, I mean, it's easier for him to hit winners. Andre, we saw that screaming forehand winner from him in the last game. That's how hard it is on this day against Pete to hit a winner.
Paul Annacone reunited with Sampras as his coach after Wimbledon this year. Number 17 for Sampras.
But even Annacone was saying a couple of days ago, who knows, you know, if Pete wins this, whether he'll decide to quit on Monday or go another year. All that Paul and Pete continue to maintain is that they want for this man to quit very much on his own terms.
And Pete made it very clear that he wanted to win 1 more Grand Slam. So if he wins this, does he retire? I asked him that question, and we'll share the answer when we have a moment.
if I'd win here, it's I'd have to see where I'm at the end of the year, and but I've decided I'm going to play a full schedule next year and kind of see where I'm at. But all athletes just want to end it on a big bang, and that's what I'm going to try to do. If it happens here, it's great, and I'll enjoy it, and I'll deal with it when it comes. But I still want to keep going. Still want to play next year and see if I could, not be #1, but just win another major.
And he went on to say, hey, if I win the United States Open, then why wouldn't I want to go back to England and try to win at Wimbledon? And an easy hold. It's 1-all. On the other hand, wouldn't there be a temptation, John, for him to, if he won today, to say, hey, this would be win my national championship, 14 Grand Slams?
We're never going to get rid of this guy.
Obviously not. He's coming back.
6 love games on serve by Sampras. He saved his best for last.
If you play like he has the first 2 sets, you win another Open. You've already won 7 Wimbledons. He's 31 years old. You're Pete Sampras. I mean, the guy could be a threat for 10 years.
People
welcome to Wimbledon with Dick Enberg and Mary Curl. It's 2012.
John,
Sampras to serve.
Sampras will always be thought of as perhaps the greatest grass court player of all time, winning 7 Wimbledons. But this is the tournament. This is the most emotional tournament for Pete Sampras. It's where he won his first major in 1990. It's where he lost an excruciating final to Edberg in #92. This is the tournament where he was so violently ill and still was able to beat Alex Corretja. He's played so many dramatic moments here at the Open. I mean, yes, Wimbledon is what made him world famous, but the U.S. Open is what made us care about him.
He continues to put pressure on Agassi's serve.
But there, Agassi's beating himself. That's what's disappointing, that Andre's not playing as well as he's capable of.
Winners to errors. Agassi is -1. 10 winners, 11 unforced. Sampras is +22. 41 winners, 19 errors. I imagine Roy Emerson is watching. It was Emerson with whom Sampras was tied for the most slams, 12. Roy out Southern California still plays a mean game. On serve in the third, but Pete Sampras holds 2 sets. Looking over at the former main stadium, Louis Armstrong Stadium, or Expedia.com Skycam. As the sun sets off in the west, or a few miles to the east of Manhattan. Pete Sampras 1-2 in the 3rd set. Won the first set 6-3 and 6-4 in the second. And a 3rd double fault. Dick Enberg, Mary Carrillo, John McEnroe, Tony Trabert, Pam Shriver, Bill McAtee, Patrick McEnroe, and all of us here at CBS Sports we come down to this final championship. What a great 2 weeks it's been. And to be climax of this sort with 2 great champions with the opportunity to win yet another Grand Slam, another national title.
Agassi's come from 2 sets down in the finals of a major. The miraculous recovery at the French, where he won it there. And Andre Medvedev, who's no longer even playing on the tour.
Wasn't he down a break in the third set too? Wasn't he in that match?
And he was down a break point at 4-all in the third. So he's not going to go away here without a fight. Fortunately, Sampras serves and volleys a little bit better than Medvedev.
19 aces against the man regarded as, at least in the last 10 years, the best returner of service. Leighton Hewitt may have become his equal, but for a long time Agassi feared by even the best of servers.
Well, don't you think perhaps that Leighton Hewitt really wore down Andre Agassi so much mentally as well as physically? I mean, that was a tough match for him to come through yesterday in the semis.
It was.
Yeah, Sampras again showing on that volley. He's got plenty of legs under him today. That Statue of Liberty almost as far from the court as the one out in the harbor.
You're on. Do something nutty.
Two all in the third. Recap this year's U.S. Open. Check out the Agassi at 2-all in the third.
Again, Sampras is so confident now because his serve is working so well. Clicking, as he likes it. He always uses that word. Now his ground game is clicking. To everything is going for him. This is the kind of confidence he has not possessed in a long, long time. Took a big cut at that one. Of course, Pete Sampras, unlike Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras has such long and generous swings. So sometimes he can really shank him up.
Well, that's why it's a good to serve into the body of Pete. Kicked up at the wrong moment, but still, those are two forehands. That first point in there at 15-all that Andre just wishes he could have back. This is normally a shot that he'll eat his opponent alive on.
Easy service point helps. 30-all, 2-all in the third.
Agassi's won more points on his second serve than his first serve. That's unusual.
Well, Pete Sampras faced that against Shang Shalkin so much yesterday, that wide one. That's often used as a second serve. Oh, look at this.
Point doesn't tell you how weary Andre Agassi right now is. Nothing will. The first one he was late to. This one, how many times did we see him run up and get those drop shots from Hewitt? Not that time. He's going to have to find that extra gear he found in the fourth set against Hewitt right now.
He must have been scouting that semifinal match because Shang Shalkin had his best service success wide into that deuce court. A couple of points won here in this game. Critical. No room for error for Agassi. Well, he does hold. 3-2 on serve in the third. Faye Dunaway and Guillermo Vilas, the winner in '77 here.
A little networking.
Sampras 2-3 in the third, up 2 sets. And that's 20 aces now for Pistol Pete. Now times have
changed in some ways, and even when you look at Sampras 12 years ago when he became the youngest ever U.S. Open champion at 19, just a skinny little kid as he described himself.
But his game certainly calls up the 4 championships he's won here.
When Agassi gets the chance, he's going to rip away. He'll take the let cord there. The crowd may be able to give him a jolt of adrenaline. He can break through that wall. Find that movement again.
That was his first pass, successful passing shot since way back in game 5 of the first set.
Again, credit Sampras, which is absolutely a massive serve there. Well, he hit a first volley that was going long. He gave Agassi a shot. He went back at him again. Sampras with the error. Andre twice goes right at Sampras. Cannot hit that one cleanly.
Not too many openings for Agassi. 30 all. It's a little Ray. Terrific return and a break point with it.
Sampras barely moved into the court for this return to serve where he is here. Now he's going to start slowing down. If Agassi can get himself in the match. That second serve did not have very much on it.
73 miles an hour is all.
He's definitely tightened up in this game. This is a real opportunity for Agassi to work his way back in this match. He wins this third set. I mean, it's 50-50. There's another chance to break. Sampras will start slowing down, and it may come pretty soon. Again, for Pete, 105 miles per hour on a first serve is not that big.
Fans itching to cheer an Agassi break. .21. Very mature, that serve.
And again, he tosses a ball in the same place every time. It's very difficult to read where it's going.
Only the 4th double fault. But again, Agassi sits on a break point, his 3rd in this game.
Well, he got nailed by Agassi when he tossed in that slow second serve last time they played it in that deuce court. This is for Agassi.
Sampras backing off, let the crowd have its way. Talk about muffling 23,000.
Twice he's faced break point. Twice he's come up with aces.
There is good news though for Agassi. He's making him work a lot harder, and he sees Sampras starting to tighten up a little here. See that awful second serve he just hit?
115 miles an hour zip on that second.
Incredibly effective when he's confident enough to go for it in that way.
So just in this game, he served one second serve at 73 and that one at 115. Talk about variety.
He assimilates quickly what's happening in a service game.
Pete mishit this half volley. He guessed right. Didn't look like he bent too well for that. I still think it's a good sign for Agassi that you can see Sampras starting to come down off that mountaintop a little.
Longest game of the match, 4th deuce.
It's a case of almost hitting the return too hard. He wasn't back in position in the court. Pete just guided away for a winner.
Makes it look so easy, doesn't it? And on his 23rd ace, Sampras, after digging out of 3 break points, levels the set. Looking at some late scores, Broncos ahead of the Rams by 3 in the 3rd quarter. Raiders, that veteran team, figured to have a great season, and New Orleans up by a field goal at Tampa Bay. Here it's Sampras up by 2 sets, 3-all in the 3rd. Magnificent Unisphere at the entrance of the USTA National Tennis Center. Number 5 for Agassi. And his second double fault to go with the 5 aces. Sampras 23 aces to 4 doubles.
The men's championship of this 2002 U.S. Open continues after this word from your local station.
And welcome back. CBS Sports proudly presenting this 2002 U.S. Open, and many thanks to all involved, starting with our executive producer of CBS Sports, Tony Petiti, coordinating producer of the Open Tennis Championship, Bob Bonsbach, and the producers, David Winter, Ken Mack, Ross Schneiderman. The producers are David Winter and Ken Mack, Ross Schneiderman, as I said. The directors, Bob Fishman and Kathy Barretto, and the coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant. And to all the men and women throughout these 2 weeks, some tough weather, the rains of last week. Great job. Wonderful tennis. Pete Sampras for the championship has 135 aces, 24 today. When he won the Open 12 years ago against Agassi, he won it on his 100th ace in the match point. Solid volley there from Sampras.
Agassi just trying desperately to get something going, just some sort of consistent way. I mean, he's just not hitting the ball as crisply as he normally does. And Lord knows it's coming at him in a hurry. You can just sense he feels this just one breakthrough here. He could really turn this thing around.
And it's 4 games all in the third.
Certainly didn't move his feet there on that return.
And just the expression in his face, John. I mean, he knows exactly what has to happen. But there's just been this flat unalterability from Pete Sampras. Keep coming at him.
He played a good return game the previous time Pete served. That was a little bit disappointing to see nothing happen there.
Agassi with 2 Open titles, Sampras with 4, John McEnroe with 4. The Open leader is Jimmy Connors. He won this championship 5 times.
What's incredible about Jimmy is he won it on clay, grass, and hard courts.
Winning on grass and clay at Forest Hills and hard court when it moved to Flushing Meadows.
Sampras hasn't won the U.S. Open since '96, and what he'd like very much is to win a title in Arthur Ashe Stadium. He's never won in this building.
They just got to get that energy flowing there. His footwork is usually impeccable. He sees Pete off balance, and he moves. It's only the 4th time in the entire match that excuse me, number 5 that was.
Oh, what an assignment. I mean, yesterday Andre was facing the best defensive player in the world. Now he's facing the best offensive player in the world. Back-to-back guys. A lot of work mentally again as well as physically.
3 double faults to go with his 5 aces, and another edgy time. Already down 2 sets. Now at 4-all, 30-all.
He's got to have the nerve to hit those type of shots, because Sampras is someone who has not moved particularly well over the course. Certainly this year, out wide to that 4. He's got to dare Pete and just call his bluff. If he does it too good.
Skids off the service line. 5-4 in the third. Art Garfunkel entertained before the match today. His wife Kim, son James was sang with Dad. Bridge over troubled waters.
Nice rendition there before the match.
Well, Andre Agassi has not found.
This is like a broken
span.
record too. 25 aces now.
Just can't seem to build any momentum, although Agassi did have 3 break opportunities in the 6th game. Unable to convert. No breaks in this set.
Andre, even if we were going to lose the points, he certainly wanted a more physical first couple of sets. Trying to grind at Sampras. Get him a little bit weary. This 3rd set is competitive, but it might be a little bit too late.
5th double fault.
But it may not be.
Well, there you go.
It's best of 5, Mary. This is, the crowd certainly be pulling for Andre. And that's going to help his chances.
Too bad.
thought it was in, but it was just missed. You see Andre guessed right. Unfortunately,
the Lincoln
call was correct. It was just right. Just right. Just wide. That's just where you make your opponent hit one more shot. Sampras made no attempt to run that ball down, and this could be a huge turning point.
2 points from the set now at 4-5 30 all is Andre Agassi. But every little opportunity for him. Boom. Number 26 in the ace department. And a point now for Sampras to go 5 all. Just an omnipotent effort from Sampras.
See how Pete pulled up too soon on that ball. Shouldn't be surprised to see that ball go in the middle of the net.
Two men now over 30 in this oldest ever U.S. Open final that started playing against one another 23-24 years ago. Norm Christ from Scottsdale, Arizona, in the chair as kids in Southern California. Agassi driven from Las Vegas over to the Southern California tournaments in L.A., San Diego. There are no secrets between these two. They know each other's book first page to last. Great admiration for one another, and they've certainly been so great for all of us that love this game, what they've offered these last 12-13 years. Second serve, it's 5 all. You see Pete's wife Bridget, the parents in a couple 3 months.
And again, you see the placement, the spin, dominating Agassi for the most part in this match.
And times when Sampras in this championship has been generous on his backhand wing, but not today. Of course, the forehand is his stronger side. Love 30.
And when Agassi tried to do what Pete had done to him, it's just his serve is not up to Pete's.
Sampras knows at 15-30, break him here, serve for the championship. Steffi, one of the greatest of all time. Grand Slam in '88 plus the Olympic gold. Always in the background, almost hiding as she peers out at her husband. Did catch her applauding. She got excited against Leighton Hewitt yesterday.
You must have liked that one.
And so should Andre. Wrong footing Pete, and noticing that Pete couldn't get back to the ball. And there's no question that Pete's not playing up to what he was earlier in this match, and Andre's game is picked up. He could just snap at his wrist a little bit more, except coming around the ball, and Andre might be able to get a little bit more on that serve, spin it away more easily. Let's see, a little tougher for him to get down for that pass. Andre's got to keep telling himself, just keep making Pete work, because Pete's looking to get these points over with more quickly. And there, that was a fatigued looking half volley. That was better done in the serve.
Sampras serves to force a tiebreak when we come back.
Sun sets on this Sunday night, and on this 2 weeks of Grand Slam championship tennis, the world's best have provided us with some wonderful stuff. And now it's Sampras leading by a couple of sets, 5-6, trying to hold and get into a tiebreak.
Wild first serve there, missed by 10 feet.
As it has always been. Well, look at that, only 5 times broken in the entire tournament, once by Agassi, but that was when Agassi was already down double break in the second set. He wasn't broken the entire championship last year to the finals, and then Leighton Hewitt had his way with him. And 6th double fault, 15 all. The most aces in the championship this year, Tommy Haas had 27.
Pete against Tommy
Pete
Haas.
against Haas.
And he's got 26 now.
So the 27 represents the most by any player in the championship, or just the most for Sampras?
Well, Wayne Arthurs had 35 in one of his matches this year, but he's not around anymore.
Service winner, 30-15. This big sellout of over 23,000 here, because it may not happen again. These two greats in a Grand Slam final. Sampras is 3-0 here in Flushing Meadows against Agassi. 2 of those in finals.
How badly do all these people want an Agassi tiebreak win here? I thought he got more of an applause than Pete coming out. And obviously they want more match than they've got, but between the idea and the action falls the shadow. T.S. Eliot.
They're ready for more, that's for certain. .40-30. Here's the second serve. After running off a lot of love service games, Sampras has had much more difficulty holding here in the third set. Hit the service line with that 124-mile-an-hour first serve.
He really took his time before this big deuce point, so he could lay some heat on Agassi. This drop volley just over the net.
Yeah, those volleys by Sampras, every one, when we freeze that frame, it looks as if that should be a picture on your wall. Wouldn't you like to see yourself, folks, just once like that?
That's where Andre wants to hit the return, force Pete to hit the half volley where he's more uncertain. He can taste it now, Agassi, and so can the crowd. That's why Pete has really slowed things down here at the end of this third set. He knows how important it is to finish this off. That very securely, very smart. Try to go for too much. Excellent technique there. So his offhand, his left hand, he kept himself nice and balanced on the for the body. See if he can get it to a tiebreak now.
He's taking so much time in this game, Sampras. Even in between first and second serves.
Again, Agassi right at the shoelaces of Sampras.
Mary, that's because if he, you see how far back behind the service line again, if he'll go from a dominating performance, winning his 14th major. So I think Agassi the favorite to win it if he wins this set.
Another point for Sampras to get to the tiebreak.
Which explains why Pete is going at this nice and deliberately. Something tells me that Norm Chris is not going to give him a warning for time delay. Nor should he, by the way. You have to do when the ball's about to kick up on you like it does to Agassi there. Take it before it goes above the shoulder. Agassi's two-handed backhand is so solid. He keeps that swing so short. He's one of the few that can pull that off. Here we go.
There's the set point.
Again, it's the low return, the half volley. And we may be just about to have ourselves a match here.
Steffi Graf hiding. Crowd just aching to roar for a fourth set. Here's the chance for Agassi. A masterful saving volley from Sampras. Tough shot.
And that's the backhand volley taught in the teaching pro books. How to do it. Keep that racket in front of you. Nice and firm. Punch. Knifed away from Agassi.
Fifth deuce, the longest game of the match.
for Agassi on this 8th double fault. Agassi has made good on 1 of 8 break chances. And welcome back. 3rd set point. Tight call on the line, and then Sampras playing a loose game, and the set goes to
Speaking of
Agassi.
tight right there, that was by far the tightest volley Pete's hit today.
And Agassi finally has a set, still down 2 sets to 1, and Steffi Graf rooting for her husband to move up to a tie for 4th all time.
Andres in a lot of obvious ways, being his wife, and they have a kid together, but she was such a fanatic at fitness that being around Steffi has been a great thing for Andre to keep that focus and that intensity and the effort level high even on the practice court, and it's going to quite possibly, Dick, pay off for him in a big way today.
Agassi now down 2 sets to 1. Will open the 4th.
I can assure you that Agassi feels better right now than he has at any point in this match. And I doubt Pete could say the same thing 2 hours in. Running those hills in Vegas.
Uphill forwards and backwards uphill. He's really been on a punishing physical regimen and paying such dividends to reinvent himself in his games. 6 aces now.
I've seen that hill. You don't want to run up and down that hill.
Gil Reyes, who's been Andre's trainer for all these years, a beautiful man. There's Gil. He doesn't run the hills quite as much. He pumps the iron though with Andre, that's for sure.
It's actually a big construction site. It's a long incline, very long.
Agassi, an easy hold, open the 4th set tonight on 60 Minutes.
Special night, new nights. This is a crazy night. It's
championship night.
Championship night here.
Not a lot of energy from Sampras's end in that first game. Let's see what he's got now on his serve.
Pete had 3 points to turn that 3rd set into a tiebreak for the title.
What's difficult for Pete too is first that he's still out there, obviously. Second is that because he played so well, the crowd has really started to root for Andre, and that's sort of deflating for him here.
John, these fans were cheering when Pete missed his first serve towards the end there.
He's been through that routine before, but he has been inspired this term in particular by crowd support.
And both men with a savvy to know here in New York the fans are rooting for the underdog, rooting for more tennis. It has nothing to do with the not liking the man that they don't cheer for. And for those who feel that fans cheer against Venus and Serena Williams for whatever reason, it's in matches with other players. Can't blame a fan for rooting for the underdog.
Well, you know what Pete says? He says, I never ever feel like I'm an underdog. He says, it's been 10 years since I felt that way. I still feel like when I step out there, I'm the favorite.
Yeah, that was well done by Sampras to settle down here.
Pete also said, I have never questioned my ability, even though it's been a struggle and I've lost confidence. I've never questioned that I can be back here.
And he's had reason to question, hasn't he, in the last 2 years? But not giving up on himself.
He's had reason to question, but Lord knows after you break the all-time Grand Slam record, Dick, at 13, you're going to have a letdown. And he's finding some happiness and security on the home front. He's expecting a child at the end, towards the end of the year in November. He's kept that focus and intensity up for so long.
Yeah, he told us that that was of all those things, the biggest was once he had won that 13th Grand Slam to hold the record. He said, then I finally let myself relax. Hey, you don't have to win them all. You don't have to be number one. It's okay not to be as great as you once were. Just try to win more slams.
Go pump up in the first round and 130 degrees in Cincinnati a couple weeks later. That's tough. Andre, nice use of aggression there to put Sampras on the defensive.
Right, Bridget.
That note that he wrote, that she wrote to Pete at Wimbledon, he still has with him here at the U.S. Open.
There from Pete.
Bridget wrote Pete a letter, and it's one we saw him reading in his second round loss to George Bastel at Wimbledon. And she was basically saying, you can still do this. You are the greatest player of all time. I love you no matter what. He's probably got it in that bag on court.
Still the type of points to me that Agassi wants to play. Long, tough, hard points. Try to get Pete more winded and fatigued. He's not used to playing as long a point as Agassi does, like he did even yesterday.
Serve the fourth, 2-1. Sampras leads 2-1. And welcome back to the USTA National Tennis Center in the main show court. 23,000 seat Arthur Ashe Stadium, named in honor of one of the great U.S. Open champs. 2 times Ashe winning this title. Pete Sampras 6-3, 6-4 for a 2-set lead. Agassi the third, 7-5. They're on serve in the fourth.
Speak quickly, please.
Approaching 7 o'clock here in the East. Those of you just joining us for 60 minutes, stay with us. We'll have it immediately following the conclusion of this championship.
That's Agassi at his best there. He keeps his swing so short. He moves forward at that angle to give himself the chance to hit that shot, which not many people can do, trust me.
And he was leaning initially to the left, had his lurch back.
His wrist, he flicks his wrist, and it's just, he makes it look, it's such a difficult shot, looks so easy. That's a second chance opportunity missed for Agassi because Pete did not put that volley away. Andre knows he should have done better there. Let's not forget, this is the 5th match in 7 days for Sampras. And it's starting to get to him clearly here.
9th double fault.
The zip is not, I mean, he can come up with it still, but not as consistently. He's starting to get that weary walk and look to him.
Messages on the flag. Recovered from ground zero. Those that lost their lives.
31.
Now from 2-all.
Pete also knows that Andre's not at 100% either after his hard-fought battle against Hewitt in the semis. So he's used that drop volley effectively today.
And for those of you joining us. And for those of you who may be joining us who don't normally watch tennis, well, you've joined one of the great encounters. It's for a Grand Slam championship, and these are two of the greatest champions in U.S. tennis history, Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi.
I'd like to applaud both of them the way they're going right now. And Agassi scrambling, hustling. And eventually Sampras puts that ball away. That was some effort there by both players.
And acknowledged as one of the great returners of service, Andre Agassi has really picked up in the last 2 sets, pressuring Sampras. Always on the charge as Sampras behind his big serve.
I call him the greatest returner. Jimmy Connors had my vote. So a few years back, Agassi has taken that to me to a whole new level. That's tough for Andre to have to watch that.
Pete put up his hand.
He's not even getting close to the service line now.
It's the easiest way to know how well someone is, how effective your serve is. If you're a serving volleyer, where are you taking that first volley from?
Well, another chance for Sampras to draw even in the set at 2-all. Remember that Agassi, when he won his last U.S. Open title, 99 against Todd Martin, he was down 2-1 to Martin and won in 5. Down 2 sets to love tonight, has won the 3rd. 60 minutes to follow our U.S. Open championship.
John, if Sheng Shokin calls up either one of these guys tomorrow and says you want to hit, they're both going to say no.
Yeah, that's for sure. This one Andre saw coming. Something happened to Pete's leg there. I don't know if he felt a twinge of a cramp or something did not feel right there.
The Sampras serve that had consistently loved games in the first 2 sets, and now suddenly every game going to deuce. This fourth deuce. Left leg is what he's favoring.
You can see Agassi in far better spirit than he was a few minutes back. He knows he's got an incredible opportunity to pull this match out. We've seen Sampras dig deep before.
Sampras seeking to extend his all-time record to 14 Grand Slam titles. Agassi looks for his 8th. And another miss volley. Back to deuce, the 5th deuce of this long game.
There's the right ankle that it seems Sampras pulled up on just a bit. Right there. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Left ankle, wasn't it?
He's tired. Right?
I was going to say, I don't know if he's going to call for a trainer.
Fault, and with it, Agassi gets a break point. That's 10 double faults. He piled up well over 20 aces early, and now it's the double faults creeping in. Testimony to the wear and tear of a long championship and this match. Jaden Gill, nearly a year old, with Mama Steffi Graf. And Sampras missing by big margins now. Unbelievable pickup.
I think even Pete would admit he had no real idea where this was going. He just hoped. Look where he had hit it. He hit it on the top of the frame.
Ball was behind him.
Sure worked.
Longest game of the match. They were the long games at Agassi's end early. Now it's Sampras's serve that seems unending.
That's in. I'd like to applaud too now. What an effort by Agassi. Big time. Look what it took just to get to that ball.
He could have done a lot more with that shot, John. And when he saw that this lob was going to fall in, I'm sure he must have been thinking.
I hope it's out. I hope it's out. I hope it's out.
Break point for Agassi.
It's a good call, just wide.
Here's the Lincoln Matt-Cam look, and it's
yesterday against Leighton Hewitt, Agassi came up with a couple of magic plays around that post. Not this time.
Agassi had actually gotten himself to this ball in time to control it. Just went over the top part of that net.
Well, a couple break points denied by Sampras here in this 7-deuce game.
You notice there, the last point, Pete stayed back on that second serve. He's feeling some serious fatigue right now.
Now the 20th point of this game.
That ball looked like a caught,
didn't it?
Yeah, that looked good.
Oh, this is his 6th game point for Pete Sampras. So he doesn't want to have to take another swing at his serve. Norm Christ is in the chair, sitting on that call.
From our angle, we'd have to agree with Pete. Two hours and 24 minutes in. Every shot taking more out of the limited fuel that Sampras has left. He finally holds on the 20th point. 2-all.
Well, this is really two great champions digging deeper and deeper as this match moves along. Incredible. The crowd is loving this.
As this Sunday comes to a close, and beautiful September evening.
Where'd that come from? He's going to go for broke. Try to sneak out a break.
Sampras comes back, love 30.
He's trying to play very short points. Doing a very nice job. This is how he wants his service games to go. And this is what his match looked like for the first 2 sets.
The crowd sensed he was in trouble that previous game. They really gave him a nice round of applause when he finally did hold. Gave him a little adrenaline rush. That almost turned out to be a problem for Agassi. He was showing some serious hustle there. Look at him move in, take the ball above the net, make that shot easier.
Out of 15, or out of love 30 to 30 all, Agassi here at 2 all in the 4th.
Just very, very weary of Sampras. You know, the first 2 sets where he played so well, so crisply, he served and volleyed because played short points because he wanted to. Now he's pretty much got to play him because he has to.
On serve, 3-2 in the 4th. CBS Sports coverage of the U.S. Open continues after this word from your local station.
And welcome back to New York. 2002 U.S. Open Championship. 2 great American champions. Sampras has won it 4 times, Agassi twice. Sampras with an all-time record of 13 Grand Slam wins. Agassi moving up the ladder. He has 7, has a career Grand Slam, has won all 4 majors. The last time Sampras served, it was a 7-deuce game that went 12 minutes. A reminder, 60 minutes coming up in its entirety after our tennis.
Well, the serve is the last thing to go. Sampras is trying to really be very deliberate, take his time so he can unleash that big bomb.
Still earning 78% of his first service points.
He's having a tougher and tougher time, though, doing it as consistently.
Not seen an ace for a while. That's his 28th. Two and a half hours into this championship match.
He's had some service in this game.
127 miles an hour.
Just when you think he's starting to lose it, he bounces back with a major effort.
Some juice on that one.
Serious.
And another 3-all. Mondays this fall.
Well, that one definitely wasn't 12 minutes long.
12 seconds, I think. It's cooled down nicely here at the National Tennis Center as we watch that sun just about to set. That should help Pete a bit.
There over in New Jersey, where Althea Gibson resides. So we'll see no green flash tonight.
Tremendous inspiration for the Williams sisters, among many, many others. Great champion in her own right. The weather still at 75.
Just to finish on Althea Gibson. On this date, 45 years ago, she became the first African American to win the title, U.S. title, beating Louise Bruff 3-2. Good depth from Sampras and a 15:30 opening for him.
Now things a little tricky for Agassi here. Sampras is up the ante. Agassi can't get those long points he wants to play. Sampras has depth too much. That was just barely long. And second thought, Lincoln Mackham shows that
Sampras was right.
Yeah, Mac was wrong too.
That would have been for 15:40. So a tough call against Sampras.
That is a very tough call there.
He's obviously going for winning returns.
He's got himself a monster opportunity now. This is why I guess he's won 13 Grand Slams. Where did this come from? Some inspiration.
It's his first break point in a long time. I think all the way back to the second set. And Agassi comes out with a big serve out wide and saves. A game that should be Sampras's, but the line call against him. Denied on a break point opportunity. 4-3. in the fourth. And welcome back. 60 minutes to follow this U.S. Open Men's Championship. It's scheduled as always 7 o'clock on the West Coast. Pete Sampras serving 3-4. Had a break point in the last game. Could not convert. And opens with his 31st ace.
And that's the low part of the net. Good idea for Pete if he's feeling a little tired, or just pop one right up the middle. He's done that consistently his last 5 service points.
And John, it's a good idea for Pete. Instead of having the ball thrown to him by the ball kids, he walks over to them to take even more time. And he also checks out these balls like he's harvesting them, looking for the one he thinks is going to be the quickest through the air.
Agassi keeps that one at the other end. Flips it to the ball boy.
It's in his pocket.
It's good.
Very casual but effective there. Didn't have to move at all. It got easier for him was the depth. It set up that easy put away.
So after struggling with his serve back in that 4th game that went 20 points in 12 minutes, he's won 6 straight points on his serve. Double fault number 11. We're at 3-4 in the 4th. A fatigued Sampras after winning the first 2 sets impressively. So I guess he'd take the 3rd 7-5.
I got news for you. Agassi isn't fresh as a daisy either.
Only 2 double faults in the first, none in the second. And you can see what's happened since. 9 double faults. 10. Both wives here cheering their husbands in this major championship. Saw Bridget, Pete's wife, Steffi Graf, the famed player, 22 Grand Slams herself, 5 times here at the Open, is also here Agassi's behalf. Point for 4-all. That's a shot that Agassi couldn't get by Sampras the first 2 sets.
You see, I love the way he keeps his left hand to guide. That is to keep his eye on the ball, but also to keep his balance. And now he knows he doesn't have to rip the big winner, just make Sampras work.
And also knows a break here and he can serve to level the match.
His technique is incredible, Agassi, now to watch him. 32 years of age.
Well, when you get tired, your form breaks down. And that has certainly happened on Pete's serve and in his legs. You see it.
He's going to get there.
And this is long.
Andre had a break point. Sampras hit the drop volley and he just clipped the top of the tape. This time he wanted to make sure he got it over the net, but he just floated a little bit on him. Didn't get enough spin on the racket. Didn't come over the ball enough.
They made one of those against Leighton Hewitt that was so critical yesterday in defeating the defending champion, the #1 player in the world, the 21-year-old Aussie, Leighton Hewitt. Another first serve missed.
You don't want the best returner in the history of the sport to be coming at you when you're fatigued and serve doesn't have the bite that it did early in the match, but that's what's happened.
Two points away, Agassi, from a chance to serve for this fourth set. Sampras 2 points away from 4-all. But not delivering that first serve consistently at all. And there's the double fault and giving Agassi the break point. Agassi looking a lot bouncier than Sampras. And another first serve off mark. Ooh. Sampras trying to get that first serve in. He's missed his last 4 as Paul Annacone studies the situation, hoping his man can hold on here, at least get it to a tie break for the 4th, where Sampras has prevailed so often in his great career. Won more tie breaks than any man in history. $100 times to the net for Sampras. 65% winners. That number not as good as it was a set and a half ago. Thursday on CBS.
Just comes up with plays out of nowhere. I mean, just how about that forehand? Then Agassi did well to get that ball back. It looked like it was pretty deep, and Sampras just had a huge rip at that backhand.
He wants this over in 4. About an hour ago, he had a chance, 3 chances, to turn the 3rd set into a tiebreak and get it over in 3.
60 minutes standing by right after the conclusion of our championship match.
This is the tough part. It's like when you play a guy Crampton when he's running around during the point and can't move when it's over. And Sampras has been very slow and deliberate. It's clear to everyone out there he's tired, but then he steps up and just hits these huge shots. I guess he's got to be very, very careful here. This is another chance at love 30. He pulled one out earlier in this set. Let's see if he can do it again.
Agassi saved a break point in his last game and was fortunate, got a call that could have put him in big trouble at 15-40. Sampras hit the baseline, but it was called out.
That was well played by Andre. Didn't go for too much. Played the safe shot. Went behind Sampras. Tough for Pete, being fatigued, to stop that body and move back to the backhand. Still 30 all though.
Double fault number 4 for Agassi, but what a place for Sampras to get that free point. A break point now for Sampras.
How tight is Andre right now?
Saved quickly by a Agassi backhand.
Pete just floated this return, not a lot on it. Agassi, that's clutch though. Confident, but very, very clutch. If that ball had gone long, Pete would have served for the match.
Sampras with some sterling winners in this game.
He feels he can still win one more Grand Slam title. This is called a major effort.
This is fun to watch. I'll tell you, it's unbelievable. Where does he come up with these shots?
That's twice with the break point. Sampras unable to get enough depth on his return, and Agassi quickly pouncing on a winning shot. Another break point for Sampras, his third in this game. Last time Sampras broke Agassi was deep in the second set.
And there it is. Sampras now takes the lead. Will serve for the championship after this message and a word from your local station.
Pete Sampras, if he wins this championship, he's the oldest U.S. Open men's title holder since Arthur Ashe 27 years ago, when Arthur won in '75. Andre Agassi trying to dig deep and find a breaker of his own and send this one on. 3 points from victory. There they are. Sampras past Emo. Roy Emerson, the great Australian. Borg with 11. Rod Laver, who's here with 11. Tilden won 7 in a row here at the U.S. Open. Agassi, should he win, would move up with a group that has 8 Grand Slams.
This guy Sampras, though, I mean, where does he pull this back?
It's like a man staggering along the ropes, taking punches, barely able to
and then he just knocks you.
Then all of a sudden comes up with a uppercut that knocks away the very thought of going down for the count.
Unreal.
2 points from the championship that would tie him with Jimmy Connors most in the Open era. 5 titles here.
Suddenly the juice is back on the serve.
119-mile-an-hour ace, his 33rd of the match, and we've come to match point. Championship point for Pete Sampras for his 14th major title.
hand it to Moose Stevens, Alex Stover. The people will take care of him. What a standing effort.
Agassi denies the first championship point.
Not yet.
His 14th Grand Slam title. Take your bows, Pete Sampras. You've even placed more distance between your greatness and the rest of the men that have fought through this history.
He's topped himself.
Great match, Pete.
Well, on a football Sunday, he's kicked the extra point. He's got 14. Going to go up and share the moment with wife Bridget. Andre Agassi battled back. It appeared that Agassi, with fresher legs, might make this a tougher task. Go to 5 sets. Somewhere, Sampras found something special late in this 4th set to win it all. This is a Pete Sampras that won his first Grand Slam title here 12 years ago. There she is.
There's Moose Stevens. It's overwhelming to even be here. It's unbelievable. Sampras has pulled this off.
Pete Sampras, ladies and gentlemen, came to New York for this United States Open Championship just as a past champion, a man who hadn't won a tournament in 33 tries over 2 years since Wimbledon. Everyone was talking more about when is Sampras going to retire than does he have a chance. Does he have a chance? Oh my, he's the champion. With his classic serve and volley style, his 105th trip to the net, he finally found the one he was looking for, the championship point. Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi, 2 American heroes. We were treated to a special Sunday for the title of the U.S. Open Championship. And now for the ceremonies, let's go to Hall of Famer Tony Trabert.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 living legends, Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Merv Heller, President and Chairman of the Board of the United States Tennis Association. Merv?
Thank you, Tony. What can you say? What can you say? Well, what a match, guys. This year, the USTA dedicated ourselves to work hard with the city of New York to show the world that this fine city is resilient, confident, and proud. I think today and all through the last 14 days on these courts, we proved that beyond a reasonable doubt. At the risk of being a little selfish, as the USTA president, I had a dream before this tournament started that we would see an All-American men's and women's final. And with thank yous to Venus and Serena last night, and Andre and Pete today, dreams do come true. I want to take this opportunity to thank CBS Sports for its over 20 years of a partnership with us, and Lincoln for being the men's singles championship sponsor. And to Andre and Pete, I told people last night that the theme of the USTA was to celebrate the American tennis spirit, and you two guys delivered. Thank you.
Thank you, Merv. Andre, if you'd step forward, please, and receive your trophy from Merv. Andre will also receive a check for $450,000. Andre, you two guys bring the best out of one another. Congratulations on a great match.
Well, thanks. It's been a great couple weeks here, and Pete just played a little too good for me today, but I will say that the one thing that really made me feel real good out here was it's great to hear New York cheer again. It was beautiful being here.
Andre Agassi, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Nick Chalet, President, Ford Motor Company, to present the trophy, or the prize, the check, I should say, Nick, to the winner.
Thank you, Tony. It's been a privilege for me, as I'm sure for all of us, to be here today. As two of the all-time greats fought it out to be champion at one of the all-time great tournaments. It's been a privilege on another level as well to stand here as president of Ford, representing Lincoln. And on behalf of all the Lincoln Mercury customers, dealers, and employees, may I say how much we appreciate being associated with the US Open, a valuable association we really appreciate. On a personal level, I can't imagine a better match, but to give a check, it has to be to one person. It's a pleasure for me to give a check for $900,000 to a great champion, Pete Sampras.
The king is not dead. They wrote you off about 2 years ago, Pete. You said you had another good Grand Slam in you. You've proven it. Congratulations.
Thank you. I guess I'm back. I mean, I played so well today. Andre brings out the best in me every time I step out with him. The guy's so good. It really, I deserve to have won here because I kind of got in the zone there for a little bit. It felt good, so it was a good win.
14th Grand Slam, a record. Congratulations. And now it's my pleasure to ask Merv Heller to come forward and present the trophy to our champion, the 2002 US Open men's singles champion, Pete Sampras.
Sampras winning 6-3, 6-4, 5-7, 6-4 against his longtime opponent Andre Agassi. And tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, Everybody Loves Raymond, and CSI. That's coming up on a big Sunday night on CBS. For all of us here at CBS, thank you for being with us these past 2 weeks. This major championship that concludes the 2002 tennis year. It couldn't have ended more magnificently. Congratulations, Serena Williams, the women's champion. And to the all-time major holder of championships, Pete Sampras, winner again tonight. Good night, everyone.